Week 3 of the UFL is coming past. Let's just dive straight into the power rankings. Number 8 is Houston, still dealing with a lot of injuries, still not looking like a complete team. The offense leaving a lot to be desired. Very, very tough start to the season for them. It's just, I like Houston's defense. For the most part, I do like how Houston plays, but they get destroyed by Michigan, and then some close games to begin. But it's not been a good team, not a good team. There's reports that there's gonna be some changes coming in the next couple of weeks or so. They need it. Again, they're just not. Their offense isn't consistent enough. The defense isn't consistent. There's not no consistency going on right now in Houston. So they're still at number 8 for the second week. Number 7 after giving up a second blown lead in the fourth quarter. Arlington's at 7. Back-to-back weeks, they've blown a lead in the fourth quarter. This time, it was an incredible collapse by Arlington. Like they have the team. They have the team to make a run. We saw this last year out of them. They're just not finishing games how they're supposed to. And the other 0-3 team, they're sitting at 7. Number 6 is Memphis after a very rough loss to Birmingham. I mean, their offensive line could not block a brick, could not block anything. The offensive line played terribly. Case Cookers was getting destroyed the entire game. His receivers weren't reliable catching the passes. The defense couldn't stop anything. It was just they got completely dominated this week. Number 5 is Michigan. Part of me wanted to put them higher, but I need to see them do this consistently. They had a very, very great game against Houston this past week. I need to see them continue it, keep up the consistency up. The offense finally played fantastically. The defense looked really good. Jake Bates is a fucking monster. We're gonna see him in the NFL. So again, I just need to see the consistency from Michigan's offense. Number 4 is San Antonio. It was announced shortly after the loss to St. Louis that Chase Gabers will be out for the season. That can be a very devastating injury, and because of it, they got pushed down an extra spot. I would have had them at 3. Instead, they're at 4 because of Chase Gabers' injury. They still played really well against St. Louis, but again, the injury they're dealing with Chase Gabers is going to be a tough one to overcome. If they can, their season's still going to be just fine. If they can't, then you obviously are going to probably end the season earlier than you were supposed to. Number 3 is DC. The offense finally looked good, especially in that comeback final 2 minutes. That was a great comeback. The defense played really locked down when they needed to, and that's been one of the consistent parts with DC is their defense. I like what I'm seeing from them. They're having the pieces finally come together. It's taken a while, but they're getting the pieces together. Number 2, St. Louis, a great victory against San Antonio on the road this past week. And that was St. Louis at their best. Fantastic play all around, especially from the offense. The defense looked good for the most part. They locked down when they needed to. The special teams are still playing really well. Some great returns, great kickoff coverage. They didn't punt until late into the fourth quarter. They handled business. They played really, really well, and they're looking like the St. Louis of the past 2 iterations of the XFL last year and then XFL 2.0. They're looking dominant. It is a fun team to watch. And number 1, probably a lot of people saying finally I'm having them at 1, is the Birmingham Stallions, the only undefeated team left. And they had a complete dominant showcase against Memphis last week. Like 7 or 8 sacks. And then against Michigan, they had also 7 sacks. Their defensive line is playing phenomenally. They finally did away with the 2 QB system. They gave Adrian Martinez a start. He played the full game. The offense looked unstoppable. I've always been against a 2 QB system, and that game against Memphis shows why I'm against a 2 QB system. They gave Martinez a start, gave him the full game. He got into a rhythm early, and they kept with it, and they just did not get off the gas pedal once. Birmingham is now solidifying themselves as the best team in the league. Once again, Skip Holtz knows what he's doing down there in Alabama. So Let me know your power rankings down below. We have predictions later this week, like always. And I will see you next time. Have yourselves a damn good one.